So you're thinking on taking the IB. Okay, so English high level, you're gonna take the paper one. Really hard. So what do you need to know to survive it? So, what's paper one? First of all, paper one, very simple. You're gonna get one text and you're gonna do a guided analysis on this text. You're gonna have one question and then you answer it. Simple, right? Not that much. This is the example that I got in my paper one when I took the IB. How does the format of the comic aid the author to transmit the message? So, to understand how to do, let's go with the first tip. You need to really break down the question. To understand it, you only have one question, you really need to understand it. So, first of all, what are they asking us about? The format of a comic. Then you need to know how a comic is formatted. Think about layout. Think about where is the introduction. It has a punchline. All of this you need to think about before writing. Then what are you asking about? Message and transmit. So you need to understand what is the message of the comic. In my case, the comic was an informative about a device that the astronauts use. And transmit, you need to go to literary devices that aid. What literary device or what factors of the comic? Those that are related to the format. Knowing all that, we can go with another one. So now, tip number 2 is to outline. You're gonna have not much time. You have like 1 hour to write each, because you have 2 paper ones, each of the analysis. But you do have to do an outline and take 5 minutes to really put your ideas, focus your ideas. You cannot just start writing because the criterion C, one of the things that are evaluated is your organization. So now another one of my friends are going to explain not how the tips of how to do it, but how to do it well.
Okay, so I'm going to explain tip number 3, which is on how to make an outline. For the outline, each argumentative paragraph should have these elements: the point, the evidence, the technique, explanation, effect on the audience, and the link. This can be easily remembered or summarized through the PTL right here, as you can see, to easily remember in the exam. This is important because these elements appeal to the rubric. For example, the point, the evidence, and the explanation appeal to the knowledge and understanding criteria, while the technique, effect on the audience appeal to the analysis criteria. And finally, the point and the link appeal to the focus criteria, which is also part of the organization structure, which is part of the criteria of organization. Also, the whole essay should have 3 ideas or arguments. For example, in this case of the question, you could analyze the drawing style, the colors, and the text that has. So now I'm going to explain tip 4, which is simple. You shouldn't be scared of a difficult question because all questions must be related to the author and how or what techniques he or she uses to achieve this purpose. And if you aren't writing about this on the text or in your essay, you should reconsider your points or ideas because it should be out of track.
Now you know the tips in order to have a competent response. Now I'm going to give you some more tips in order to have an even stronger response. The first thing is to use quotes and direct references to the text. Now, this is very important because it gives you straight, hard evidence that you can use. For example, which sounds better? The author uses diction to make the text sound more professional, or the author uses diction like suboptimal to make the text more professional. This gives you a lot more evidence and it makes your idea a lot more valid. The next tip is to directly answer the question inside the conclusion. This makes the examiners think that the text is very focused, and when they see the question, they can directly pinpoint the answer and understand what you're talking about.
Lastly, we have 2 tips. First of all, is related to practice, and the second one is a little secret that we ought to tell you. As for practice, you can visit this website. This website contains all of the elements you need for a paper 1, from outline to questions, and even already graded paper 1s from previous students. What you would have to do basically is to take a random question from the ones that had been published, write your own paper 1 with confidence, and then compare it to the previous already graded papers by the examiners. Second of all, we have a little secret that gave us a perfect grade in the paper 1 IB, which is the IB English guys. These guys own a website and a YouTube channel, both in which you can access for free. And in general, they talk about IB English as a whole, but you can focus solely on the paper 1. You would just have to look it up. And the last thing we have to tell you is that we wish you the best of lucks, and don't be nervous at all because it is not as hard as you think.